B'shus ha-Raborim, Rav Bol, Yedidi, Dr. Shus Haim, dear friends. I was asked, what's really the shaykhs, the connection between the Yortzeit, the Petir of Efrat, and this foundation? Well, both have to do with life, as we heard from Dr. Schusheim. But there's something else, I think, what connects the two issues, the Yortzeit from today and the organization that tries to save life and is fighting abortion. They've got in common how to deal with problems, how to deal with nisyonis which a person meets in his life. The nisyoin from losing a child is obvious and understandable. But the nisyoin of abortion is also a nisyoin. A nisyoin of giving in to an easier way of life without the child, who needs money, the house is not large enough, or whatever it may be the reason that a parent decides for an abortion. That's they've got in common. The Yortzeit from today and the organization Efrat. We just read in the Torah about Yosef. Yosef was confronted with a huge nisoyin. His brothers sold him. That was far from friendly. That was a huge problem for him. How did Joseph react? I saw a very nice explanation about the whole Mechiras Yosef. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted that at the moment Yosef was sold, for a different reason there should be a minyan. In order the sale will be more strong and have more value. So where was the minyan? Well, 10 brothers. Yosef was in the boy, Binyomin was at home, so 10 brothers. But Reuven wasn't there. So where's the minyan? Only 9. One of the explanations is that when Reuven came back and he heard about what happened, although he was against the sale, the Mechiras Yosef, since the community, the Tzibur, agreed, he was prepared to be a part of this minyan. From this we'll learn that also, although you don't agree with the community, a different opinion, you should follow the minyan. Another explanation is about Yosef. Reuven wasn't there, but Yosef was there. He was one of the 10. So how could Yosef be one of the 10? He was sold. It was all against him. From this we learn that although you are confronted with a terrible nisoyin, they all are against you. It's something you can't bear. You can't bear. It's too difficult. Nevertheless, he stayed a part of the congregation of the minyan. The family of Efrat, like we heard from the different people today, if you get confronted with the loss of a child, there are different ways to react. One way is to run away from everything, to be angry, not to accept. And the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to follow is exactly opposite. Like Yosef. He was confronted with a terrible nisoyin. He couldn't understand what was happening. But nevertheless, he made himself. He was mitzaref himself to the minyan, a part of community. And we saw that the family, after the confrontation with a terrible accident, we have no answer to it. They made themselves stronger and became more and more a part of Jewish life. Chayef al ala kashem shevor ala toivo. A person has the obligation to make a bracha on something what is evil, was negative, was bad. In the same way as you make a bracha, you say thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for something what's nice and good. How is that possible? That's impossible. Acceptance, okay. You accept a nisoyin, you accept an illness, you accept the loss of a child. But saying thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's a different story. And nevertheless, we see Chayef olevor al ro kashem shmavor al toivo. The same way we have to say thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for something good. In the same way, we should say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, thank you for something was the opposite of good. A loss of a child is no good. It's terrible, it's a disaster. So how can it be that we've got obligation to say thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Even more, we have the obligation to be besimcha, to accept besimcha. How can that be? We told the Meise from Elimelech from Lishensk and Reb Zushim Neopoli, the two brothers. They were traveling to the Rebbe, the Mezritcher Maggid. In those times, they didn't go by aeroplane, by horse. And on the way, they were learning. And they were learning this, what we just told you. And they just couldn't understand. How can it be? How can be such? How it's impossible. Acceptance, okay, but say thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for something was evil, was negative. How is that possible? They were thinking and thinking. She just did not find an answer. And they came by the Rebbe and asked the Rebbe, "We don't know the pshat. What does it mean?" And the Rebbe answered them, the Mezritcher Maggid, such an easy question, such an easy shaila asking me. Go to the basic Knesset, go to Shul, there's Reb Yankele, he'll give you the answer. So I went to Shul and asked around, who's Reb Yankele? Reb Yankele was a person, Nishkin Talmid Chochem, he couldn't learn very well. But one thing, he was Molly Tzoros. He lost his wife, his children were ill, no money, all the tzores from Welt, all the tzores were unthinkable he had. Because he went to him and asked and told him, listen, the Rebbe told us to ask you a shaila, a pshat. So he had to ask me, who am I? But on the other hand, if the Rebbe says so, tell me the problem, tell me the shaila, I'll try to give an answer. And they asked him, what does that mean? Chayef al vor al rot shem shevor al toivo. And his answer was, I don't understand why the Rebbe told you to ask me that shaila. I have no problems. Baruch Hashem, everything I need I've got. How do you look at the tzora dat lo aleinu someone gets, someone receives. How do you look at it? That is what Soros is about. And that's the meaning. Vergeef onlevoren Hashem Tevo. Hakol b'dem shomayim. V'lei mach shavei seichem. We can't understand the Eberste. But you must know that everything which comes from the Eberste is chesed. And if you realize that, then it's not important how I look at it, how I feel it. Hakol b'dei shomayim. And everything that comes from the Baruch Hu is chesed. Does that mean that if I see people who don't want to continue with a pregnancy, that's Hakol b'dei shomayim? It's also b'dei shomayim. Should I let them go? A few weeks ago, we read about Noach. Noach is tzaddik. He was a tzaddik in his generation. Or means his generation. It's told in the Midrash that Moshe Rabbeinu had a discussion with Noach. And what was the taina that Moshe Rabbeinu had to Noach? He complained, Moshe Rabbeinu, to Noach and told him, you are too frum, you are too religious. Why? Noach accepted that would be a mabul. He accepted that HaKadosh Baruch Hu would destroy the whole world. Because Hakol b'dei shomayim, everything comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So also the mabul. And the Moshe told him, listen, it's very nice. Hakol b'dei shomayim. But we have not the obligation not always to think like that. We have to start a discussion with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and ask him to change certain situations. So if there are tzoros, for myself, I should know and think, no, that Hakol b'dei shomayim, kishem shavor ha'arok yishvot al toivo, that I am thankful for everything I get. But if someone else is in tzoros, he got problems, I should know that I have to do everything to be supportive. And therefore, continues the Mishnah and says, my mevorech, what's the bracha we are saying? If Hakol b'dei shomayim, it should be always the same bracha for something good and something negative. For something good we say Hatayf HaMeitiv. And for something negative we say Baruch Dainu Emes. In other words, in theory, in our feeling, in our belief, we should know there's no difference between the things we think are negative and the things we believe are positive. But if we are able, or we see other people with tzoros, then we should know there's a difference. One is Hatayf HaMeitiv, and the negative is Baruch Dainu Emes. And therefore I think that the combination from the yard side, on one hand, and the foundation today of this beautiful organization, what I know already for years and years, and I've got the schus to have a lot of contact with Dr. Schusheim and his organization. It's a beautiful combination. One of acceptance, like the parents did on such a brilliant way, accepting and trying to improve their own Yiddishkeit. On the other hand, where we have to help other people, we see that other people are in tzoros. They're not able to continue pregnancy because of what reason it may be. Then we should not say Hakol b'dei shomayim like Noach, but we should protest and help to save lives. I'm thankful and I appreciate highly that we in Holland got now officially this organization, this stichting, Efrat, in order to be supportive to all those neshamas, what without the help of Dr. Schulzheimer's organization would have been killed. I'm using a very negative word, but that's the reality. And we're trying to save their lives, beschus en voor de aliers aan de shomme van the York side of today.